In a coastal city where the skyscrapers loomed like giants over the sun-drenched docks, lived a man named Jonny. To the casual observer, Jonny had nothing. He slept on a thin mat in a room no larger than a closet, and his pockets were so empty they seemed to hold only drafts of cold air. He wore a coat that had been patched so many times it looked like a map of a forgotten country. In a world that measured a man by the weight of his wallet, Jonny was considered a zero. However, Jonny possessed a secret weapon. He refused to see the world as it was. While his neighbors in the slums spoke of getting by and finding a few coins for bread, Jonny spoke of empires. He didn't just want a job, he wanted to change the way the city moved. He spent his days at the library, not just for the warmth, but to study the blueprints of the great merchant ships and the logistics of global trade. He was a man with empty pockets, but a mind that was overflowing with blueprints for a future that didn't yet exist. One afternoon, Jonny stood by the harbor, watching a massive cargo ship struggle to unload its crates. The process was slow, chaotic, and wasteful. The foreman was screaming, and the workers were exhausted. Most people saw a busy dock. Jonny saw a broken system. He sat on a rusted bollard and began to draw in the dirt with a stick. He wasn't thinking about how to get a day's wages as a loader. He was thinking about how to move 10,000 crates with the press of a single button. Lands. He began to approach the local merchants with his ideas for a centralized distribution hub. "You are thinking about today's meal," Jonny would tell them, his eyes bright with a feverish conviction. "I am thinking about the hunger of the entire coast. If we build this, we don't just sell grain. We control the flow of life." The merchants laughed. "Look at your shoes, Jonny," they jeered. "Your toes are peeking out to say hello. How can a man who can't buy a pair of boots build a cathedral of commerce?" Jonny didn't flinch. "My shoes are small," he replied, "but my steps are wide. You see my empty pockets? I see the space where my success will fit." Lands. The turning point came during the Great Winter Storm, when the harbor froze and the city's supply lines snapped. The wealthy merchants panicked as their goods rotted in the hulls of trapped ships. Jonny, who had spent months thinking big, walked into the office of the city governor. He didn't ask for a handout. He presented a plan he had visualized 1,000 times, a temporary sled track system using the city's unused iron rails to bypass the frozen docks. Man, he spoke with the authority of a man who already owned the solution. He didn't pitch it as a small fix, he pitched it as the new artery of the North. Impressed by the sheer scale of the vision and desperate for a solution, the governor gave him the authority to lead. Within a week, the city was moving again. Jonny, the man with empty pockets, was now the architect of the city's survival. He hadn't changed his circumstances by looking for small change. He had changed them by demanding a seat at the table of giants. Remorse. The story of Jonny teaches us that your reality is a reflection of the size of your thoughts, not the size of your bank account.